There it is, the iPad, Apple's tablet computer. You know it, you love it, you've probably bought it out there. Everyone's got one, right? Well, I don't have one, but just about everybody. Will the next one be smaller? There are some rumblings that that might be the case. Spencer Ante, the very casually dressed Spencer Ante today. Look at this guy.
Happy post-4th of July to you.
I didn't know this was an option for the office.
In the middle of the summer, during 4th of July week it is, so
all right.
make a note of it next
Let's talk
year.
about what's going on with Apple's iPad.
Yeah.
They have not come, they never come out and say anything before they release these things, right?
No.
But there are indications that the next iPad might be smaller.
Yeah,
right?
which is kind of a surprise because Steve Jobs, the late CEO of Apple, spoke dismissively of smaller size tablets when they introduced the iPad. He said that you needed like a 10-inch size screen to really get the full experience of a tablet computer, which is a classic Steve Jobs head fake, as we've learned. If he dismisses something, chances are they're working on it. So component suppliers are preparing for mass production of a smaller size iPad, which we believe is going to be somewhere in the range of 7 to 8 inches.
Wow.
And
now, do we know who? Do we know what suppliers?
One of the people we spoke to said that Apple's working with component suppliers like LG Display and other component suppliers, but it's the main thing is it's going to be a smaller form factor, which they haven't done before.
I mean, 7 to 8 inches. The first thing when I saw this story, I thought, well, they're responding to Kindle, Nook, other. Is that what this is about?
Absolutely.
That they are responding to other tablets that are doing well.
Absolutely. I think this is also, it's not just sort of a response now, but it kind of reflects the history of the company, which is that they do these product line extensions. They've done them very well in other products, like the iPod started out as like this card size thing, then you had the Nano, then you had like the Mini, and so they sort of roll out these new versions of products that are smaller and serve different uses and also are cheaper. So with this tablet market,
that was on my list of questions to
with
ask.
the tablet market, we've seen that Apple is still dominating the tablet market with like 60 to 70% share, but it has seen some competition on the low end from, as you said, the Kindle Fire. Now that Google just announced the Nexus 7 tablet, which is going to be $200. The iPad is $500. So people expect that if this tablet does come out, it'll be priced closer to $200 than $500, and it will blunt that competition.
I mean, Apple's still with 61, 62% market share, but these Android, that's what these are. These are Android-based phone tablets. They are picking up a lot. They're getting a lot of action out there, and that is what Apple is responding
collectively,
to.
they are eating into the low end of the tablet market, for sure. And I think that's why Apple, several years after they released the iPad and reintroduced the category, it's a good time to sort of do this now. They're also, you see this doing this with the iPhone. They're lowering the prices on the iPhone as well as competition from Android kind of eats up
now,
from below.
Does this mean that they're going to be selling 2 different versions of the iPad, the 10-inch one and the 7 or 8-inch one? Is that what we'd be looking at?
Pretty much.
Probably.
Pretty much. One of the risk factors, I think, is if they do introduce this smaller version of the iPad is, what does that mean for apps? Because one of the chief advantages of Apple has been in the application ecosystem that it's created, hundreds of thousands of apps. They also have hundreds of thousands of apps native to the iPad. So the question is, what apps will it run? Will it run the iPhone apps, or will it run the iPad apps, or will it create a new type of app? It does introduce the risk a little bit, potentially, of fragmentation, which is an issue in the Android ecosystem.
And then last question quickly, when do we expect this?
Reports we're getting are that the launch of the unit could come in the fall, like September or October, but nothing's been confirmed
Holiday
yet.
season. Don't want to miss holiday season.
Absolutely.